Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel today. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, we'll be cutting and sewing this really simple pencil dress with flounce. I used 3.5 yards of sunray fabric to achieve this style. So the first thing I did was to fold my fabric into 4 because I want to cut both the front and the back together. I left my zipper allowance of 2 inches on the back. This is for those that want to be adding zipper to their dress. If you're using a stretchy fabric, you don't have to add any zipper allowance. I'm not going to be adding zipper to my dress because it's stretchy. The next thing I did was to start taking my points. So the first point I took was the distance from my shoulder to my bust point. The next one is the distance from my shoulder to my waistline. The next line is the distance from my waist to my hip line, and then I drew straight lines across all these points. After doing that, I went ahead to take the length of my dress, which is going to be 45 inches long. The next thing I did was to go over to the shoulder area, and I took half of my shoulder measurement. I indicated the measurement with a dot. On that dot, I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll slant from that point into the neckline area like this. The next now is to determine my armhole depth. Okay, so my armhole depth is 8 inches. So from the shoulder slope, I came down by 8 inches, and I ruled a straight line across that point, which is going to serve as my chest line. After doing that, the same measurement that I have on the shoulder line, I'm going to place the exact measurements on the chest line, and I'll connect the 2 dots into a straight line like this. After doing that, guys, next now is to place my tape on the straight line, and I'll divide what I have then into 2 equal halves. What I have is 8 inches. Half of 8 inches is 4 inches. I marked the 4 inches. On that 4 inches, I came inward by half an inch. On the chest line, I'll place my bust circumference divided by 4, and then I'll connect from the shoulder slope to the half an inch, and from there to the measurement that I have on the chest line. On the waistline, I'll place my waist circumference divided by 4. I'll add 1 inch for ease allowance, and I'll add 1 inch for stitching allowance. So I'll advise that you add extra half inch, okay, which you'll be using to stitch your flounce together. Okay, so on the bust line, I went ahead to add my ease allowance of 1 inch and my joining allowance of 1 inch. So I connected from the chest line all the way to the waistline, and on the hip line, I placed my hip circumference divided by 4. I added 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for stitching allowance. So go ahead and add 1.5 inches for stitching allowance instead of 1 inch. Okay, so after doing that, I'm connecting from the hip line straight to the dress length, and I'll go ahead and cut off the excess fabric. After cutting, this is what I have. I'm going to take my neck width of 3 inches, and I'll take my neck depth of 3 inches. This is for the front. I'm doing 3 by 3 inches because I don't want the neckline to be too wide. Okay, after connecting, I'm going to take the back neck depth. Okay, the neck width for the front and the back is the same. The depth for the back is 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to connect from the 1.5 inches depth to meet the 3 inches width, just like you see me doing, and then I'm going to cut the back. I'm extending the back all the way to the zipper allowance, and I'm going to cut just the front out. Okay, so after cutting, go ahead and use your facing to pipe your neckline. Okay, you can cut out a facing to pipe your neckline, or use your bias to finish it up. On the waistline, I'm going to adjust the zipper area. Okay, I took half an inch away from the 1.5 inches that I have on the waistline, okay, at the back. So this is what I have for the back. Since I'm not going to add zipper to my dress, I'm going to close it up. But if you're adding a zipper, just go ahead and fix your zipper at this point. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is to cut out my sleeves. Well, before you do that, you are going to pipe your neckline with a bias tape, or you cut out facing for it. Okay, so for the sleeves, my fabric is folded into 4. I'll be cutting the 2 sleeves together. I'll go down by 5 inches on this end of the sleeves. The side facing me is folded. Okay, so I'm going to cut slant from the tip of the fabric all the way to the 5 inches, and then I'll find the middle point just like you see me doing. I'll indicate it. On that point, I'm going to do like a D and C. Okay, on the upper part, I'm going up like a D, and on the other side, I came down like a C. So I'm going to place my tape and measure it, and I'll mark out my armhole depth, which is 8 inches. That's my armhole depth divided by 2 is 8 inches. I went ahead to add 2 inches to it. Okay, after sewing this to the armhole area, if there's any excess, I'm going to cut it off. On the base of the sleeves, I placed my round sleeve circumference divided by 2. I indicated that and I added my stitching allowance. After doing that, I'll just go ahead and cut, and I'll notch the center of the sleeves. So after piping your neckline, sew the front and the back together and stop at the waistline. Go ahead and also fix your sleeves in place. So the next thing we'll do is to cut out the flounce. To do that, I'll be using this pattern paper. I first of all folded it into 2, and then I'm going to fold it over like this because I want to get the center of this paper. What I'll do now is to mark 1 inch, okay, all the way around. Okay, on the 4 corners of this pattern paper, I'm marking 1 inch, 1 inch. After marking the 1 inch, I'm going to connect them together in a circular form. Okay, so after connecting, guys, this is what I have. The next thing I'll do is to outline the 4 corners of this pattern paper with my pencil so it's more visible for you guys to see. And then I'm going to determine the length of my flounce. So it depends on how long you want it to be. For this tutorial, I'll be using 6 inches as the length of my flounce. So I picked one part of the circle and I came down by 6 inches, which is going to be the length of my flounce. I'll connect from the other side, okay, just like you see me doing. This other side, I'll connect to meet the 6 inches like this. Okay, after doing that, I'll go ahead and start marking my 6 inches all the way around. Okay, so I'm placing my tape on the tip of this circle, and I'm marking 6 inches all the way around. After marking, just go ahead and connect all your dots together. Okay, so after connecting the first dot, on this other end, I'll go down from that 6 inches and I'll mark another 6 inches. So see the way I'm connecting it all the way to this 6 inches here, just like a spiral. Okay, so I'm going to continue marking the 6 inches. Okay, to know the wideness of the flounce you'll be needing, all you have to do is to place your tape on the shoulder area of your dress, the main bodies, and then measure from the shoulder to the waist plus 1 inch. So from that point, you're going to measure down to the dress length. Okay, the waist point I'm working with is 17 inches plus 1 inch, that's 18 inches. So I'll place my tape after that 18 inches and mark it all the way to the dress length. That's how long your flounce should be. After measuring mine, I think I got about 20 something inches. So the wideness of this flounce is supposed to be 20 something inches. So you can measure all the way around. If you have gotten what you want, then you can stop and then cut the excess pattern paper out. Okay, so I went ahead to cut out. This is what I have for my flounce. So I'm going to now open the flounce up. Okay, so just look at the way I am cutting. I'll just cut all the way back to the inner circle like this. Okay, and I'll also cut the inner circle out. So this is my flounce. I'm going to go ahead and confirm the measurements that I have. Okay, so just place your tape and measure all the way around. Okay, so after measuring, this is exactly what I want. I went ahead to fold my fabric into 2 and I placed my pattern paper on it. So I'll cut out the outer part first. Okay, after cutting, I'll cut out the spiral. Okay, so since my fabric is folded into 2, once I cut, I'm going to have 2. Okay, and I'll be cutting out 6 because I want to fix on the center and on the side. Okay, 2 at the center, 2 at the side seam. So this is the first set. I'm going to place my pattern paper on 4 others and I'm going to cut out 6. Okay, so if you want to line yours, you can just go ahead and cut out the lining piece for them and line, and or you can just overlock the ends. Okay, so I've cut out everything that I'll be needing. Like I said before, after cutting out my dress, I went ahead to pipe the neckline. Okay, I fixed my sleeves and then I sewed from the armhole area all the way to the waistline plus 1 inch. So my waist point is 17 inches. I sewed up to 18 inches because I don't want to start joining the flounce all the way from the waistline. You can even go down by 2 inches. So I'm going to find the center of my dress. Okay, I folded my tape into 2 to find the middle point. On that middle point that I just marked, I'm going to go out by 2 inches on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to split it by 4 inches. Okay, so 2 inches to the left, 2 inches to the right, and this is what I have. So I'm going to go ahead and split this 4 inches. You can see I have 2 inches all the way to the end of my dress. I'll place my roller to get a straight line, and then I will split from the base of the dress all the way to that 18 inches. So that's how long your flounce should be, just so that it will fit into this splitted area. After cutting this part, I'll go ahead and also cut the other side. I'm splitting for both the front and the back. Okay, so after cutting, this is what I have. Okay, what I'll do now is to arrange my flounce inside and I'll sew it back. So this is why I said you should add half an inch to your joining allowance, so it does not affect the measurement you have on the joining allowance. Okay, but if you're using a stretchy fabric, you don't have to do that. So what I'll do is to just arrange everything in place just like you see me doing, and I'm going to place the flounce inside, right side facing right side, and I will sew all the way. I'll arrange 2 on the center front, 2 at the center back, and then 2 on the side seam area. Okay, so just go ahead and sew that. And yeah, that is all for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching.